Yo, what is up, motherfuckers? Welcome back to another episode of the Nitro Podcast. Today we have a very special episode. I didn't know this was gonna happen. It was kind of a surprise to me, to Dr. Porn, which actually went with me to this event. It just happened at this point in time. It would have been on last Thursday. So I don't remember what day that was. It was somewhere in May. It was the end of May. But that last Thursday, I'll put the flyer right now. But I learned that Frank Mysterio, which is one of the coolest toy makers that I've seen in a while so far, from Mexico. And he was fucking badass too. But I did see, the news clip that they put on the old sheepdog page, of course, from News Channel 9 here locally in El Paso, Texas. I did see some interviews from Frank Mysterio because I really didn't know much about him, so I did a little bit of research because I do like, toys. I support art, especially cool ass fucking art that he does, that kind of stuff, like action figure stuff. I like figurines and stuff like that. I mean, as you can see, I like a bunch of fucking aesthetic figurines and shit like that. But we went to the event because it was going to be like a last minute kind of pop-up thing that he had, because he had an event in Juarez, which of course, I didn't even know about, but he did have his little pop-up here at Old Sheepdog. By the way, thanks to Gus for always being so welcoming and shit. Me and Dr. Porn showed up really early. I don't think Old Sheepdog was even open at that point. But we showed up like around 4:30. It was still closed. We just chilled, and then we came in. Ordered some pickle beers, which, to be honest, for reals, and this is for reals, because I was a fan of the, that dill pickle beer that came out not that long ago. What was it called? It's from the Texas company, but it tasted so much like pickle, like too much. We used to water it down, well, Michelob Ultra it down, because we would put Michelob Ultra half and then half of the pickle beer because it was so strong. But the one that Gus and the team made there at Old Sheepdog was fucking awesome. So that's the beer that we drank all night. I actually did get a little bit drunk. Me and Dr. Porn, we had a lot of conversations with Gus, the owner, Old Sheepdog, and his wife. So, props to them. Awesome fucking night that we had. It was pretty packed. It did get packed at one point. I don't know if it was because of Frank or not. Doesn't matter. It was fucking cool as shit. That was some good exposure. And I'll tell you about Frank right now. But we did ended up meeting with Hector G too, and his son. Awesome fucking, Hector. We have a project that we're gonna try to start getting into with Gus and him, so hopefully we'll see what happens with that. But let's get to the fucking meat. I don't know what that was, but let's get to the meat. Frank Mysterio. I'll show some pictures of what he did. He does some weird ass fucking little monsters and shit. Now I know that he paints and that he does a lot of molding and stuff like that. He does a lot of figures. We did see some of the ugly figures that he has. He has a lot of really, they almost look like the critters, but I think way uglier. They're just it's all messed up and shit. For whatever reason, all of them have a penis, which is, I think it's cool. I mean, it's not too, it doesn't look too, it reminds me a lot of when you got figurines from Mexico, and they're, usually back in those times, there wasn't anything sexual or anything. They would just show the human body. So a lot of those figures and paintings, they just had the fucking penis out and shit. And it wasn't they wouldn't put a huge fucking, dick. It was a normal size one. You'll see right now. But I did end up getting a figure from him. And the moment I saw it, I was in love with it. I asked how much it was because I did see some prices. I did see some prices online for some of these figures, and I was like, yeah, I don't think they're in my price range. Because at the end of the day, they are works of art. You know, you have to support art. So I was gonna try to get something at least. So I did get something, and I got. It was so affordable for me that I got one for Dr. Porn. So I got Dr. Porn a figure that he liked, and I got myself a figure that I like, and I'll show you right now. So I'll show Dr. Porn right here. He's this like little ugly guy with like a mace. He looks cool as shit. I did like him. It almost seems like a toy that you would find like on the prehistoric era or some shit, and be like, what the hell? Like, we used to have that. Whoa, look at my back. But it was fucking cool as shit. So I did buy that for him. You know, right now he's on the down low, kind of. He's going through some stuff. So you know, send your fucking good vibes to him and shit, because he's not doing too well, but you know, we're here, we're still going on. I did buy him this to kind of cheer him up a little bit, at least. So I got him, you know, the toy that you're seeing right now, but it was cool. And then I got myself something that reminded me a lot of like Doom. I've been playing a lot of Doom lately, and as you can see, we have Doom 2 right now going on. But it reminded me of one of those monsters. So I'll show them to you. But first, I'm gonna show you the other shit. So we did talk to Frank, and I did ask him if he would be willing to make the podcast when he comes back. Come and chill with us, drink, talk shit, talk whatever he wants. He said yes. So I don't know. I don't think it's a promise, but he's gonna try his hardest to do this for us. So hopefully we can get Frank Mysterio to come here and, you know, chill with us and shit. He did give me a poster for buying some of his toys. He said that he was giving away posters to like the first people that got toys. I don't know how many people got toys. I don't know if he ran out of posters, but it's a coolest fucking poster. If we weren't the second, we might have been the first people to buy some shit. We might have gotten the ball rolling. Hector did inform me that he had a figure of half Skeletor, half like He-Man. It was already at the point where I bought this one, so I was like, yeah, I can't do more. But I didn't even want to see it because I didn't want to fall in love with it and then done a decision that I might have regretted. Anyways, so here's a poster. And it's a cool ass fucking poster. I fucking love it. It's almost like, this paper is fucking awesome. I wonder if it glows like in the black light. I think it might. Well, that black light is already looking. But this is a cool ass fucking poster. You can see it right here. And I'll show close-ups right now. But I do love the poster. It looks like a metal kind of font and shit. Probably says Frank Mysterio there. But those are like the creatures that Dr. Porn got. So I'll put this one right here, just showing you the shit that we got. And I got like a little free figurine, a little one. His arm comes off like really easily. And you know what? Rest in peace, Sal. But he would have loved these, for reals. He would have loved this shit. He would have been all over this. But here's the little figurine. I'm just trying to figure out where his face is. Okay, right here. He did give me this little silver figurine. This one was free. And it was for buying, you know, a couple of his figures. So it's a pretty cool fucking figure. Hopefully he can come by and, you know, do the podcast and have a conversation with us. But here he is. Here's the figure that I got. So here he is. Look at him. Isn't he beautiful? Yeah, he's pretty cool. He does remind me a lot. It does remind me a lot of like the monsters from Doom. You know, like the one eye, kind of like the Caco Demon. I know the Caco Demon has two eyes, but he does remind me a lot of that. he did tell me that inside he's filled in with like 80s toys, which you can hear them. But he's pretty cool. And what I like the most is that he told me that he would react to black light, which we have a bunch of black light in this room, so that's pretty much why I got him. But as you can see, his little wee wee right there, little wee wee. But you know, his arms are movable, his head is movable. He's all made of like 3 pieces basically. You can move his arms, you can move his head. But it's fucking awesome. I do love him. You know, and it's like an art piece. It's not really like to play with. I mean, you can play with it if you want, but it's more like of an art piece, if you can see it. But I do recommend you check him out. He does sell some stuff online on Frank Mysterio. I don't know if it's frankmysterio.com, but just look for Frank Mysterio, and you spell Mysterio like Rey Mysterio. So there you go. But it's a fucking awesome figure, and I don't know where I'm gonna put him, to be honest. I want him to get the black light, but I am gonna consider him like a piece of art more than anything. Hopefully I can get at least another piece from him, because this is badass. And hopefully he comes to the podcast, talks to us, and you know, chills and fucking, you know, he's a cool fucking guy. So hopefully he does that. But for now, that's gonna be it. Hopefully you guys, you know, like this content. Hopefully you guys can come back. He said like in October, and hopefully he comes. And I say hopefully because we don't know, you know, anything can happen. But for now, that's it. Thank you so much for following us at Nitro Podcast, all social media. You know, just go and check it out. I'll post some pictures of him, you know, and the other little guy and the poster. And I'll do some close-ups right now of it, because you guys do need to see him up close, because it's fucking badass. I do love him. I wish I had my little lamp. I'm gonna try to get that black light so that you can kind of see him glow. But thank you so much. Remember to click like, subscribe, you know, click the bell if you want to get your notifications. You know, we have videos weekly now, so again, hopefully I have some more stuff coming up, and yeah, I wonder what Juan thinks about this little piece of art. It's cool as shit, you know. But yeah, so just go, you know, follow us and all that shit. NitroPodcast.com, not .com. Nitro Podcast at all social media. And please remember to fucking come back every week. And we'll see you on the next episode. Later, bitches.